Peace and love to everybody. I like to pay very close attention and listen up to everything that is going to be shown for you. All right? It's very important that you get everything that is being put down. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start. I'll get my face off the screen for now. If I find to say something,
right now, brothers and sisters. All right. We're going to be coming into some serious times because when we talk about the Omicron, the gates of Omicron, we're talking about extremely powerful crystal frequencies that will be shifting from day to day, extremely complex and powerful crystal frequencies that will be shifting from day to day into multiple energies, multiple vibrations of ancient crystal frequencies. Not the crystals we deal with this is a different crystal energy. Omicron represents revelation, judgment. All right. It'll be 360 days of nothing but pure crystallized about advanced sacred geometric energy coming into this realm, moving throughout the entire galaxy, but mostly in this realm on this planet, because it has to be corrected. At the end of the 360-day mark, we will see how everything has tumbled, crumbled, and failed, because the system was designed to obscure the vision of the original beings. It's not about those who are inorganic, because this energy is here to awaken the organic and to separate from the inorganic, as well as many of the inorganic will not survive what is getting ready to take place as we are watching now. If you look at this right here, these are just different examples of the complex crystallized frequencies that will be entering the realm. All right, these are different examples of this, and there's nothing that mankind himself can do. There's nothing that Archons, the Chitauri, the reptilians, the Draconians, there's nothing that they could do at all. All right, the arachnoids, the insectoids, they can't do anything about this, because as this crystallized energy began to move, it will literally begin to become more complex within itself. We're already seeing businesses fall because the beginning of this is already happening. You got to remember, our planet prepares for such powerful energy. So people say, "Oh, we see this and this and this and this." Our planet prepares for this. Our planet is a living organism, and the most significant part is how she says, "I need to be cleansed." There's an issue here. These beings are, I'm telling you, during this 360-day cycle, these beings are literally going to be showing their real colors, their real true selves, and brothers and sisters who put their trust and care into inorganic beings. Oh, I love them, and they're my wife, my husband, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my best friend, my nigga, my boo, my ride or die. I mean, you can say all that. They're going to be affected by this energy. And this energy is going to be revealing who they really are. The system will be revealing what it really is about. We're talking about extremely powerful forces of multiple ancient crystallized frequencies. You understand the crystals that we deal with here are not the same crystals that we deal with on a cosmic level. You know how many crystallized energies out there in the cosmos. When you start dealing with the cosmic crystals, they are infinite. You can't even name them. Only thing you know is you could be in their presence and they will literally shift the vibrations of the very essence of who you are as an original being. And we're moving into this ancient sacred geometries, ancient sacred crystallized energy coming from this Omicron gateway, where everything that's not supposed to be is going to be pushed out, and everything that's supposed to be will literally be manifested. This is where we are right now, and we're watching the system crumble. You're going to see people die. You're going to see these inorganic beings begin to kill each other. You're going to be seeing suicides. You're going to be seeing all kinds of things. But just rest assured, at the end of all of this, right, we're talking judgment. We're talking judgment coming through. There's multiple energies, and you got to understand how this judgment is working, because you're talking about beings, these inorganic beings who took it upon themselves to offset the balance of a planet, of a realm, a system that has the original people tricked to thinking that this is the reality that we're supposed to be in, when it's not. This is not the reality. This is not the life that we're supposed to live according to the system, money, and all the other things. And this judgment will be released, brothers and sisters, as it has already began. And we're watching the system just turn against itself. It's
timeline has been triggered, and you are going to see some energetic things happening in the background of the video, because I am talking about the original timeline, which is the Sophia original timeline. The Christos energy is here. So every time I've tried to make this video, there's so many things happening behind me that I have to pause. So I have to get this video out so I can talk to you guys about this the same way I had to talk to you guys about Memphis, because what's happening now actually started in Memphis. So the original timeline is considered the divine harmonic pathway, and that timeline is connected to your original soul mission. That timeline was seeded before the manipulation, before the loss of human memory of who we truly are. Also, the timeline is connected to the soul templates and the natural cosmic cycles. So you have the Emerald timeline. You also have the Christos Sophia alignment. This new timeline that has been triggered will help you connect with your original oversoul template. It will help you embody it here on earth, which is why I've been creating these meditations to help you connect with your oversoul, not your higher self. That's something different. This is the path where the 144,000 is awakening. This is why I've been talking to you guys about the 144,000 and the awakening of the nodes, which is what is happening in Memphis, in Alabama, Charlotte, Georgia, and Texas, and also Louisiana. This is why you've been loud popping sound in our atmosphere, because what is happening with the loud popping sound is opening up a gate for memory. So when you hear these popping sounds and these loud horn sounds and these roaring thunder sounds that cannot be explained, these are frequencies that is being activated to help you restore your memory of who you are. Also, what is happening is you're seeing all these light beams coming into our atmosphere. You're seeing these, what they call fireballs, which they're not fireballs, they're angles of fire coming into our planet. So what is happening is the Golden Gate, which is called the Plasma Gate, the Golden Sun, the green sun that I told you that I saw also. It is a plasma that is being opened, and you can literally see the plasma beings coming from the sun and coming into our planet. How you know this is true is because of what I've been talking to you guys about the earth nodes, the golden node that happened in Memphis. I told you guys that that was going to happen and that you was going to start seeing different signs and wonders. And shortly after that, the same thing happened in Alabama, which they tried to say that it was just a storm, but it was not. It was another node being turned on another major node because Memphis and Alabama is on the same ancient ley line. Which that's something I have to talk about in another video. Also, it goes really deep, family, on what's really happening in that region. So you want to know if the original timeline has been fully activated. No, it has been triggered, which is why there are triggers happening in our planet. 1, Memphis, 2, Alabama, Louisiana, Charlotte, major thing happened in Charlotte with the interference with the Anunnaki. And then you have Georgia with the fireball. They're saying it's a fireball, but it's not a fireball. I'll tell you in another video exactly what being that was.
So this is the one part that I have to correct, is that I'm pretty sure most of you know by now, especially when watching my channel and all the footage, and I'm not the only one showing stuff, that we are definitely not the Anunnaki. We are a dragon blood race. Tiamat was the great mother and also a planet, a living planet. They destroyed it. We went through that whole thing of how the Anunnaki mixed Tiamat's blood with the dirt. That's how we got here, because they inverted alchemy. They alchemy inverted everything. That's how you got trapped in the body. However, they didn't realize it was going to use it to our advantage. So, just to clear that part up. Now, what she may not, now, some folks will say this is the lion. No, that's not the lion nose. Some folks will tell you that it is like her, Anunnaki. No, it's not. Now, the fact is that those, the best way I can say it to simplify it, higher self. Those are examples of one of your higher self, your multidimensional being. The earth is also a reflection of you, of your higher self. Okay, I'm just being dead honest. I'm trying to keep it dumbed down as much as possible. So if I'm getting too dumbed down, you got to excuse me. I've been told way too many times that I need to break things down to almost like a dummy style, which is nothing wrong with that. We got a lot of new folks coming in, a lot of new folks learning. So I don't really like it, talking this way, but I have to stay away from using big words, elegant words, so that I got to meet people where they at. That's what I'm trying to do, y'all. I hope that I'm doing a good job. But those were what you would call, I'll break it down. So the Moors would call them giants. Those are the guys that they would go look at and then went to their double daddy and said they look like grasshoppers in front of them. All right. They confuse y'all to make you think those are Anunnaki, but that actually wasn't. Not that Anunnaki didn't come here and fight against us along with the Gentile, because they fought alongside of them. Okay. That's just dead honest. However, you have to realize that the Titans are not the same as Anunnaki, and the Titans are sending signals here to some of their lower selves to help us. They're not gonna land. They're not gonna come and fight. I know some folks think that that's why they're staying right on the outside, right out the atmosphere. Again, I told you the good guys do not get directly involved because that means they have to lower themselves and take the same risk that you took, which they don't want to do. They can't help you if they take the same risk. We help each other and they help us on higher levels because that is your higher self. There's many versions of your higher self. Again, you are a multi-dimensional being. You are a primordial being, primordial deity. You made all the planets. We existed before anything existed. Before anything was around, we was around. When the pitch black was pitch black, we was there with the pitch black. You understand? All right. That is part of the great mother, the goo, the venom. They like to call it the venom, but they inverted that. But you see what's happening if somebody paying attention. All right. Your melanin, even your blood turns black. It's because you come from the thing that is black, the thing that they can't go to. They call it the inhabitable zone. Sorry, got tongue tied. But it is only uninhabitable to them. But now we see that all those energies are coming here, which means that they cannot exist physically or well, they don't have a spirit, but you get the point. But I really hope there's some people that are gonna get it right. I heard one lady say that it's not too late for everybody. So I hope that some get it right. However, I'm gonna leave it at the cards will fall where they may. Just so I don't sound prejudiced, just so I don't sound hateful, because I'm not hateful. This is not personal. I know, let them tell it. They'll say, oh, it's personal. It ain't personal. It's literally just business. And we have feelings about this, but we're trying to stay away from those feelings again. Sometimes we have been too nice, time over nice for our own detriment. That's one thing we cannot do, we cannot afford. Yes, it's about the collective. Yes, we gotta look out for each other, but doesn't mean we be stupid.
Was and why they came. So what is happening, because the original timeline has been triggered, we have now entered into the third spiral gate. I tried to explain this in another video about the third spiral gate, where you have these timelines that are merging, which is what I told you guys about. Wow, it sounded like I was underwater when I was talking, and you can hear the harmony of the frequencies when I speak. It's actually happening now. So what is happening is you have the past, the future, and the original timelines. They are merging. At one point, they were stacked on top of one another, and you probably felt yourself in multiple places at one time. And it was because there's a that happened when those energy comes. You split into 12 different fractures, and you are dispersed out on these different timelines. And what is happening now, all aspects of who you are, all your fragmented souls are now merging together in one, because you are about to enter the original Sophia timeline, which is your original soul mission. So you need all aspects of you on this timeline. You no longer have to be fragmented once this original timeline take place. So you are probably going through voice changes, eye changes, skin changes. Some of you are going to start looking younger, because all aspects of you are now merging into one, because this new timeline has been triggered. And we are literally standing in the activation corridor. This is what Quantum Fest was about also, which is something very important happened. I told you guys that I was helping integrate a new timeline, and this is this timeline that I'm talking about. So now they're talking about the return of the Anunnaki. And the reason why they're talking about the return of the Anunnaki is because this timeline has been triggered. Before, there was no reason for the Anunnaki to return, because
Now, as you know, some of you may know the Anunnaki never left. So how would they return if they never left? So that just pokes a big hole in their lie. All right. So again, so she's learning. We all actually, she's remembering. We're all remembering. And there are some who are here that are in Anunnaki. So she might. I hope that she's not one of those. But hey,
of ice after I drop the kids off. Bible, but it's a book, and it says the story of Jesus. I asked the lady, was it? I seen this Bible. Well, not Bible, but it's a book, and it says the story of Jesus. I asked the lady, was it free? She said yes, it was free. So I had my earphones on, and I didn't really hear the lady that was behind me and what she said, but I kind of read her lips a little bit, and I took my earphones off. I said, were you talking to me? And she just looked at me. I said, well, I thought you was talking to me. I apologize. She said, well, I was. I said, well, what did you say? She said, you know, that it's a white man that made that book. It's a white man that made the Bible or something like that. And I was like, well, you have to understand something. Let me tell y'all something. You know, that's only in America. That's only in the United States of America. You leave out of here, you go to Africa, you go to anywhere else, they go off nationalities, not white and black. But when they come over here, they respect the white and black thing because they recognize something within it, blah, 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 blah. But for us Americans, I want to let y'all know, y'all need to let that go. Now, when you talking about, now this book may have been created by a Caucasian. Okay.
So I show that to say this. Unfortunately, yes, the book was remixed by Black Moors and Caucasian Moors. It was remixed by Moors, all still Moors. The Taimur people, you know, who made them? Who they mixed with? They mixed with the Moors. The Moors are marrying them. Yeah, they got kids with them. Okay? So this is why that's explained. Who's the Moors? Your enemy. Some of y'all have thought you were Moors, but you're not Moors. So, the truth be told, a black Moor, along with a bunch of other white Moors, and King James, a black faggot Moor, just being honest, decided to remix this book. So it was black and white that was Confederate against you, and then they invited everybody else to become Confederate against you. So we need to go by naming specifically who did it to get down to the root. I'm not excusing anything anybody's done. What they've done, and they've got to pay for. Hey, yeah, it happened to us, but when you think about it, we're only doing what we're supposed to be doing. As far as their punishment, we're not the ones giving them their punishment. The punishment is coming because that's just how the universe works. Universal law. Hey, you got to pay the piper. And because we went through all that hell, yes, we went to hell and back. Do not underestimate all the pain our people has went through. We went to hell and back and then some. And because we went through hell and back and showed love as they showed hate, we are going to get rewarded mightily, beyond this world mightily, beyond plenty of worlds mightily. We're going to get put back at the very tippity top to make sure that we are overseeing all the planets. We have a job to do. Yes, the ones who, you know, who are going to be here as well. Let's not get that twisted, our people. All right. And we are going to rule righteously, not the wrong way. Now, there's some of you was talking about going to Africa. I just got to say this real quick because Africa's not the place to go. And I do give respect to, I don't want to say it like that, but man, I'll give props to Abraham Torway for doing what he did, and all the other Africans taking that piece of land that we gave them before they stabbed us in the back. But that's another ball game. However, I will say this: make no mistake, they're Moors and reptilians, the Africans, some of them. Now, some of y'all were thinking, get out the country, and we said plenty of times that the ones who leave are the ones that still sleep. Well, how about the fact that Abraham Torre and all the rest of the Africans are now banning what like to say as African Americans? We don't use those terms. Anybody else from America cannot come to that country. He banned it. And that's not the only country he banned. He's banned almost everybody. this is to let you know that after they said, "Oh, come in, open the doors," yeah, they shut those, let you know that we only needed some of y'all to help us do what we got to do. We need all y'all because truly, y'all not from Africa, so we need to stop falling for the lie. Next video.
Didn't want to listen. We told y'all about the systems. We told y'all about the government. We told y'all about the food. We told y'all about the schools. We told y'all about religion. We told y'all, but y'all didn't want to listen. Now it's still only a few of us, a few, very few, that see it for what it is, and the majority are still asleep. All we can do is sit, watch the movie. Some of it is going to be sad. Some of it is going to be, some of it is going to be dreadful. But all we can do is sit back and watch the movie. Warn them, they didn't want to listen. Now we just sit back and watch the movie.
Not just one, but two large pushes of energy where we had a blackout 2 times within the last 24 to 48 hours. So let's dive in. So I have my notes right in front of me. So if I do look down, that's why. But there's a lot going on here. So on 9:20 in Eastern Standard Time, from 12 a.m. to 1 a.m., there was a blackout. This is a timeline jump. And what I mean by timeline jump is that it is higher than 5D consciousness coming in. This is 5D consciousness plus, so 60, 70, 80, and going up to 12.
All right, remember, we entered the gates of Omicron on September 21st. This is all confirmation.
We entered these gates, and this is right before Trump started panicking. I want y'all to realize that. This is right before Trump started panicking. Why I say panicking? Because they know what happens next. Keep watching.
And enter those gates. This went beyond 5D. This went highly, heavily. I mean, it shot way up.
This is very high frequency, and this shifts our current frequency. And as we shift into this heightened frequency, anything and everything is possible. And that is why it is a timeline jump, because we are shifting into a heightened frequency to where something has been literally blown away. An old timeline was completely removed because we were at such a high frequency. We're getting rid of humanity's timelines that should not exist anymore, or timelines that don't fit our highest good. That's what I mean by timeline jump. Then we had a few removals from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. on 9/21. Again, these are in Eastern Standard Times. Then on 9/21, we had another blackout at 10 p.m. Again, 6D and up, a blackout, meaning the frequency was so high.
Also, proof that we jumped more than one timeline, to say the least. Is I don't know if y'all paid attention to what's going on. There was a report that came out, I think 8-9 hours ago, that after some reports came out about Trump involved with some case going on, that the United States Marines snatched his ass up. Do we know if it's true or not? Wait for it to come out. But if that's true, this will show you. Plus, there are a lot of talks of him going to jail also. And we already told you that. But don't forget, next week is a big deal. This is happening next week. You'll see. Also, the big thing that we also got to look at too is that, now I got the proof. Before I say that, I got the proof, and nobody's reporting on it. I gave the proof to 3 people. I got evidence. 1,000 missiles. Not 1, not 2, not 300, not 400, not 5, not 8, not 900. 1,000 missiles China gave to some countries, some small country. I can't remember the name, but I got the footage. 1,000 missiles hit fake Israel, and word around all of the countries is that that place is destroyed. Now, of course, in America, they're not showing you. I don't even see not one media news outlet. You know, of course, they're not going to talk about it, but they know what time it is. They know what time it is. This is just so y'all have evidence. Now, I already got the footage. I might just show you the video. You can go look for yourself. And when I haven't showed it, because a lot of folks haven't showed it, due to the fact they're probably worried they might get taken down or something. So I'll put it up there, and you can go look at the name. You can look at it for yourself. But before I do that,
that anything is possible, possibilities, opportunities, new reality is coming in for us. And we can work with that energy in order to shift our timelines. The energy is here. Then we have a bunch of lines, a bunch of integration coming in with that heightened frequency. And then this morning at 7 a.m., we had a bunch of upgrades within our theta waves, super high frequency. So if you woke up drowsy, if you woke up with congestion, it is there. It is rough. We are working through removals and upgrades within our upper chakras. That is a quick lowdown of what is going on. But this energy is allowing us to shift to a timeline. And that is a shift that we choose. It doesn't automatically go there. But as a collective, we need to make that choice. Do you want to make that choice? I say yes. Yes to the love consciousness. Yes to the Christ consciousness. We are leveling up. These are the energies that we wanted for the eclipse, for the equinox. It is possible to shift your reality right now. If you want to ground within this energy, if you want to say goodbye to programmed timelines or programmed limits, life, definitely check out my eclipse meditation. It is still.
So to understand I know you can't see this hardly. This is like the energy on here is like it's really banging, and that's just a picture. But because your pictures are gateways as well. But we're in the gates of Omicron right now, and if you don't want to know how high this energy is for the Omicron, all right, you have to look at the Schumann resonance. Omicron is running through lunar frequencies. Okay, this is lunar frequencies. You got to remember, money was based upon the moon frequencies, lunar frequencies. A lot of money is short for moon. All right, so now you start watching the money. All right, and as the frequencies, the Omicron frequencies. Now, right now, we're in day 4 of this powerful Omicron gateway, and the energy is building on top of energy on top of energy. Okay, so dealing with the Omicron, this is something that we were talking about. So let's just say this is day 1. This is day 1 right here. This is day 1. Then there's day 2. It builds on top of that. Day 3, it becomes even more higher. Day 4. All right, and we're on day 4 right now. Day 5, day 6. So what's happening is this energy is building itself up, and each day this vibrating, resonating frequency builds on top of each other each day until 360 days, which means that this is nothing but pure chaos. It's all of this Omicron, but pure chaos. This is why in 2020, they say
you'll run into Nagas. You can't get away from them. They're everywhere. They're the indigenous all over this planet. The so-called in harmony with nature. Every temple, every pyramid, buzzing with free energy, connected by ley lines. A global empire, alive with the rhythm of Gaia. They want us to believe all black people come from Africa, that Africa is the birthplace of everything, that they were wanderers, migrants, and slaves of history. But the truth, the undeniable truth, the indigenous were everywhere, from the golden Andes of the Inca kings like Pachacuti the Great to the serpent throne of the Naga king Vasudeva of India. From the dragon courts of China's Naga lord Fuxi to the Washita Moors of America, ruled by Naga lord Verdiachi. From the serpent lord of Europe, Roderick the Serpent King of the Picts, to the Naga lord of Hawaii, Kalanikupule. This is a world united by power beyond imagination. A planet alive with free energy, towers that sang with the sun, temples that breathed with the stars, and across it all, a network of pyramids, from the Andes to India, from Mexico to China, from Africa to Hawaii, all connected on ley lines, channels of power flowing across the earth, linking every empire in harmony.
Mastered the Kundalini, the coiled serpent energy that sleeps in every being. They awakened it, bending it to their will, channeling it through the pineal, the seat of vision, the eye of the serpent. For centuries, they were put in an amnesia state of mind. But now, Nagas are coming out of their coma. And when they awaken, the planet will move to the rhythm of the serpent once again.
Shocking DNA discovery. This black man's DNA proves that 99.99% black genes are so unique.
They told us people came to America in chains, that we were stolen from Africa, stripped of everything and dumped into a new world we didn't belong to. But what if I told you that's the biggest lie ever told? Because one black man's DNA just destroyed that narrative. His name was Albert Perry. And scientists did his Y chromosome. Found something terrifying. It was older than every known human being on Earth. Not just African, not just American, not even Neanderthal. His DNA didn't just connect him to the first man. It proved black men were here in America before native tribes, before Columbus, before anyone. And the moment they realized this, they went silent. Because if black men were the first humans and the first Americans, then everything you were taught about history, race, and power is a lie. History isn't written by the truthful. It's written by the powerful. And for centuries, the truth about black people in America, who we were before slavery, before colonization, before the whip and the auction block, was systematically erased. From the moment the first ships docked, white colonizers didn't just steal bodies. They stole stories, cultures, tongues, bloodlines, and they replaced them with a single narrative. You came from nothing. You were brought here like cargo. You have no past, no land, no legacy. But that narrative was never meant to be true. It was meant to control. Because if black people in America ever knew who we really were, if we ever realized we didn't just arrive here in chains, but that we were already here, thriving, ruling, building, the world would never look at us the same again. That's why early scientists avoided studying African American DNA in depth. They studied European lineages, Asian migrations, even Siberian ancestry. But they stayed away from the one group whose blood carried the real story, the one they couldn't afford to explain, African Americans. Because deep down they knew if they cracked open our chromosomes, they'd find a story that didn't begin on a plantation. They'd find kingdoms, migrations, ancient power. And in 2003, when a team of stunned geneticists ran a test, acquired ordinary man from South Carolina.
So when they did the test, they found out that, for one, let me break this down before I say that. For one, we don't have DNA, we don't have RNA. RNA and DNA comes from the animals. Just being honest, our people have mitochondrions, which means what? Your DNA goes, your mitochondrions, or what they like to call DNA, goes way past Tiamat. It goes all the way before the beginning, which means that you are superhuman. You are a primordial being. They like to use the G word for you. We don't use that because the devil took that word and named themselves that. You were the thing that they want to be and can't be. You were the thing that they're actually supposed to be giving reverence to. I didn't say bow. They were bowing down to us though, but they're supposed to give reverence, appreciate you. Almost like saying these are the guys. These are the ones that's connected. We can get our salvation if we do them good. And we learn their ways and we become like them. But we cannot get this salvation if we try to beat it out of them. If we try to enslave them, we abuse them. If we do them wrong, we won't get it, right? But unfortunately, somebody missed that bus and they didn't seem to care about doing this right. But that's another ballgame.
They accidentally opened that buried door, and what they saw on the other side, it changed everything. Albert Perry wasn't a scientist, wasn't a historian. He didn't publish papers, lecture at universities, or make headlines in his lifetime. In fact, Albert Perry lived in North Carolina. 1 million African Americans whose family history had been shaped by slavery, lost to the records, and swallowed by time. But what Albert didn't know, what no one knew, was that he was carrying a secret in his blood, a code older than civilization itself. After his death, one of his relatives submitted his DNA to a commercial ancestry company. It was supposed to be routine, just another family tree search like so many others. But what scientists discovered in Albert Perry's Y chromosome, the strand of DNA passed down directly from father to son, left them speechless. It didn't match any known lineage in modern humans, not European, not Asian, not even African lineages previously recorded. In fact, it didn't match anything. Albert Perry's Y chromosome was so ancient, so genetically distinct, that it predated the oldest known Y chromosome ever found in a human being. We're not talking hundreds of years, or thousands. We're talking over 338,000 years old. Let that sink in. This man's paternal lineage was walking the earth before the first modern humans even appeared in East Africa, before the migration out of Africa, before Homo sapiens were fully formed. This meant only one thing. Albert Perry's Y chromosome came from a lineage that branched off long before anyone ever thought possible. A lineage that may have never left Africa, or worse, one that left Africa and came to America first. It shattered the timeline. It broke the tree of human ancestry. And suddenly, the idea that African Americans were just descendants of enslaved Africans collapsed. Because if Albert Perry's Y chromosome wasn't just African, but older than humanity itself, then the African American story isn't just about bondage, it's about origin. Albert Perry came in the matrix of Western science, walking through the story of man, and started caved in Europe. It started in blackness, it started in us, and the world hasn't been the same since. The Y chromosome is a special kind of story. It's passed down unchanged from father to son for generations, like a genetic scroll etched in blood that never forgets. And Albert Perry's scroll told a story no one was ready to hear. When researchers at a DNA lab sample, alarms went off. Y chromosome didn't align with anything in their global databases. It didn't match known African haplogroups. It didn't align with the widely accepted migration out of Africa. It didn't even show signs of the common mutations found in ancient human DNA. It was alien. It turned out that Albert Perry carried a Y chromosomal lineage that was over 338,000 years old. That's older than the oldest anatomically modern human fossils ever found. Think about that. His DNA is so ancient, it predates Homo sapiens. It predates Neanderthals. It predates everything we've been taught in biology class. According to mainstream science, the Y chromosome of modern humans should trace back to a common...
Now, this is why, I just want to say something real quick, we'll get back to the video. This is exactly why Dan Calloway told y'all, when I counted at least 2 to 3 times and showed you proof, and he usually does about an hour-long video or more, that y'all, none of our people, really nobody in the whole entire world, really, especially when it comes to our people, you should not be trying to do no genealogy test, take a piece of your hair and send it, put it in an envelope, however the fuck they do it, because I ain't never did one. And they send it off to some retarded company that's gonna find out, oh shit, this motherfucker got shit goes way from past the beginning of what we know is what we call time. Oh, we can't tell this motherfucker this because that'll fuck up what we told everybody as far as history. Oh no, that'll give them leverage. And not to mention all the scientists that work for government was like, oh yeah, we was told that we can't let them folks on nothing. And the government pretty sure was like, y'all better not say nothing. So why the hell would they tell you what you really are when you cut a little piece of hair and send it to them? You think they're gonna tell you the truth? This is exactly why Dan Calloway was warning y'all, stop doing genealogy tests, because they've been tricking y'all, bamboozling y'all, talking about, oh, you got a quarter this, a quarter that, a quarter. Man, get the French toast out of here. Get out of here with that nonsense. That's bull crap. You either are or you ain't. Let's stop, man. And you ain't got to do. Ask your people. My mom told me when I was a little boy. This is when I was, matter of fact, I was still communicating with y'all like to call the ancestors at the time. My mom was telling me, when she used to tell me I got older, I used to talk to the ancestors all the time. She called them angels because she didn't know any better. Used to talk to the ancestors all the time. Tell me what they said and all that old jazz. She said, it's funny, you know, when slavery happened, she was telling me clues. She didn't tell me about some clues. She told me clues. She, you know, we used to run to the Indians because the white folks were scared when they thought they were savages. She says, you know, I'm part Cherokee. I know my dad from Mississippi. I even got a copy of his birth certificate, not just mine, and also the original copy that puts his name, my name, mom's name, and where they from. So I know where they both from. He's a Mississippian. We all start off Mississippians. We spread out throughout the whole world. All right. Now we move to Mississippi, eventually to Alabama. All right, just still that tribe. So I know that I'm Mississippian and I'm Cherokee. Some say they changed the name, and I'm pretty sure they did. They probably changed it over so many damn times. All right. You can ask, I don't know if you got a grandmother, cousin, ask them. Somebody knows. Somebody knows in your family because somebody told somebody. They just didn't tell you. Ask.
An ancestor who lived around 200,000 years ago, often called Y chromosomal Adam. But Perry's DNA shattered that narrative because his Y chromosome wasn't a branch from the tree of modern humans. It was a separate tree entirely. A tree so old it suggested that the human story was either far older than we thought, or that another previously unknown lineage had existed right alongside us, a forgotten branch of the human family. Now here's where it gets even more explosive. When scientists compared Perry's Y DNA markers with other ancient samples, some found in isolated tribes of Africa, some from early human remains in the Americas, they found fragments of similarity. In certain Native American burial sites, especially in parts of South Carolina, Georgia, and Mexico, researchers have found ancient remains with genetic signatures that mirror rare African lineages. Could it be a coincidence, or could Albert Perry's ancient DNA be a living link to an erased population, one that existed in both Africa and the Americas long before the textbooks say people crossed the Bering Strait. That's when the whispers started. If Perry's chromosome predated the so-called first Americans, and if his DNA resembled markers found in ancient American bones, then someone had to ask, were black people the first Americans too? Not migrants, not slaves, but originators. And that single possibility was enough to shake the foundation of anthropology, archaeology, and everything we thought we knew about people of the Americas. What did they do? They buried it in obscure channels. They called it an anomaly. They labeled it an outlier. But it's not an outlier when it happens again, and again, and again. Albert Perry wasn't the glitch, he was the key. Albert Perry's Y chromosome didn't just whisper from the past, it screamed. Because when you line up his ancient paternal DNA with historical records, oral traditions, and archaeological findings across the Americas, a haunting truth begins to take shape. Black people weren't just in America before Columbus. They were here before the so-called Native Americans we see in textbooks, before the Bering, before history began being edited. And the proof? It's everywhere, if you know where to look. Let's start with the Olmecs. Mainstream historians say the Olmec civilization in Mexico is one of the oldest in the Americas, known for its colossal stone heads with thick lips, wide noses, and unmistakably African features. For decades.
Okay. So, let me clear this up. I know some of y'all heard African, y'all like, hold on, whoa. Okay, so let's start here. Now, if you have done your research thoroughly, like some folks have, you will find out that there are some of us, some like the Olmecs, all the Olmecs. So you ain't Olmec, but tell you just know what I'm telling you is true. If you do the research, you'll find out. In fact, you'll find out more than I'm telling you. The Olmecs, they did live in Africa at one point, and there was an African king. Okay, he was a warlord. He decided that he wanted people just like over there, and with the oh my god, the Portuguese, same thing, same scenario played. What did that king want? Us to do his religion, and we refused, so we left. Right? What the king in Africa wanted us to do. He liked us obviously away, but the one thing he didn't like is that our living lifestyle. He wanted to do his religion, eat meat, and all the other stuff, which we ain't supposed to do. We told his ass nothing left. Kept our freedom. Did they come against us? Plenty of times they tried to come. I'm sorry, the Olmecs. I gotta be careful. They're still power people, but the Olmecs were our people. And some of us did mix with them. All right, and they were not Africans, but they did leave because they didn't want to do their religion. All right, that's why you see these big old black, I'm gonna use their terms, black African heads, kind of sort of like, and you're like, hold on, it looks kind of like us, but they look like Africans. Hold on, man, that can't be us. Well, I mean, some of us did mix with them, and the fact is that they were actually, before they left Africa, they ran from the king who wanted the religion. They weren't gonna do it because they wanted to keep the old ways. All right, they wanted to stick to the source. They wanted to stick to the great mother, and that king wasn't hearing that. He was not hearing that at all. So when they did try to come in, they got wiped down a bunch of times. And then when the white folks got kicked out their country, they went to Africa, and Africans sent them over here, right? But they did tell them what's been the land if they came here. Now, all that yada yada, the Bible tells you. That's who warned them. All right, that they're not regular man. That's those people. You go over there, you're gonna get wiped down. Nobody's able to stay there. You can trade with them, but you can't cross them. All right. Now, it doesn't excuse the fact that there was Moors in America too, and they decided to do a double crossing, and then they got double crossed by the white people because they started marrying the white people. This is way back when they used to wear long clothes down to the ankles, cover their bodies because the white people's bodies were very hairy back then. They were trying to hide who they were. I'm just being honest, y'all. Don't get mad at the messenger. The truth is the truth, and the truth has to come out. At least you got somebody just giving it straight to you instead of lying to you.
Scholars have tried to dismiss it as is stylistic. But what if those statues were not art? What if they were portraits? Portraits of the black indigenous rulers.
So-called black people, the original beings, those known as African Americans. We've told you over and over again that Africans are not original to the planet. But of course, Mr. Whitey and all his so-called knowledge will want to call us African because he doesn't understand anything. Okay? Our primordial identity, we're the first beings of earth and sky, born not of separation, but of unity with the force of nature. We carry the memory of the stars in our blood, the rhythm of earth in our bones. We have elemental names that go throughout history that was passed down from generation to generation that has been lost. Many traditions remember them. All right. Many traditions remember these names, not by race, but by essence. You understand the essence of it. We're known as children of the sun, those born under the lineage of solar energy, the power of the sun deep within us, also known as serpents of light. Yes, we were noted as the dragon-blooded ones, we who kept hold the ancient dragon bloodline, not monkey, but dragon bloodline, which our planet is a dragon alone. Keepers of the water and sons and daughters of the fire. These names were tied to our powers and our responsibilities. As the original people, what are our responsibilities? Our responsibilities are to become one with nature, become one with the cosmos. Our responsibilities are to bind with the elemental forces all around us, that we may bring balance to our realm, our planet, which is why we have this enemy working so hard to keep us out of balance. This is our responsibility. We hold the Atlantean and the Lumerian memory. It's in our blood. Before the fall into division.
Tamari. I just had to correct that.
We were simply the builders and dreamers and guardians. All right. Our frequency shaped the landscape, the ley lines, even the first language of vibration. This is who we are. Unity in flesh and spirit. We're not black, white, red, or yellow. We were recognized as the original frequency holders. Our skin, hair, and features only being reflections of the environments that we harmonize with. Nature, the sun, the moon, water, wind, fire, magnetism, the wood, the metal. This is while we harmonize with everything of a natural order. You understand who we are? Our cosmic names that we were given, we've forgotten about. In many traditions, we were called the ones. Yes, the ones. We are.
Almost 7,000 years ago, our ancestors will have a vision. And in this vision, they saw that in the last of days, when there was death and destruction upon the earth, that there would be these hidden gods in America. And these gods will forget who they originally was. They will be held captivity in their own land and begin to think that they are humans. The ancestors will talk about how they would be under this sleep spell, this spell of amnesia. And once we go into a new age or a new solar cycle, that spell will be broken. And the hidden gods will rise back up and take over the kingdom. The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. This year is the rise of the ancient ones. This prophecy is written all over the walls in Egypt. Even Aleister Crowley have a book about this. They knew we was coming. Now they talk about this last battle that would take place before we inherit the throne. And this would all happen because the rulers would not want to give up the kingdom. They have fell in love with this power. And without it, they know that they are useless. The ancestors even talk about how they built these super soldiers to go against us. Now they state specifically, I have put a special power within you as well. There is no energy on the planet more powerful than the original source. Hope y'all like the lecture. Peace and Ashe.
Then it's not just about skin tone. It's also a cosmic conductor. Melanin absorbs, it stores, and it transmits light and energy. So when we're out in the sun, we're not just feeling heat, we're actually absorbing solar radiation, which is UV light, and then converting it into usable energy. Melanin also channels frequency through the nervous system. And because melanin not only absorbs, but it also transmits, it's important for melanated beings to vibe high because we radiate energy back into the environment. It's like tuning forks or sound bowl, which means we're not only taking in solar codes, we're also sending a feedback signal back out into the universe. Indigenous teachings say the sun is alive, and some tribes even worship the sun. The sun is not just a ball of gas, it's a conscious intelligence, and it feeds us and it responds to us. So if humanity as a whole, especially melanated beings, rise in frequency, the sun feels that resonance and intensifies. So if we drop in frequency, the sun remains the same. You know, melanin
survive storms others would drown in. Marcus Aurelius once said, remind yourself of what you've been through and what you've had the strength to endure. Too often we forget the battles we've already won, the times we've stood firm when everything around us tried to break us. Think back. Remember those moments when you thought you couldn't go on, the nights that felt endless, the days that seemed impossible. Yet, here you are, standing stronger than ever. You didn't get here by luck. You got here by fighting, by enduring, by refusing to give up. So when doubt creeps in, when fear tries to pull you back, remind yourself of this simple truth. You are the product of every storm you've weathered. You're not just surviving. You're thriving. Remember who you are and face whatever comes next with that power.
You must understand that our lineage goes back further than you could imagine. And throughout time, our ancestors were recorded by these reptilians and draconians. And they recorded them and they learned our power. It took them eons to learn us and to find our weakness. We must understand that everything they put in the movies and the cartoons is a description of our ancestral energy. Now, not only did we have these powers and abilities, the Nagas. When you talk about Dragon Ball Z, you're talking about the dragon energy, which originate from the original Nagas, a league of extraordinary powerful beings. Okay, you gotta understand this is our history. Okay, we are an extraordinarily powerful people, but many of us have been treaded upon, and we have been confused with religion and entertainment, not knowing that everything that you see on the movie was originally us. There's a key in this here that we must awaken the powerful abilities that we have as the original beings. We carry a power within us, but it only comes from within. Just like our sun, our moon, the energy comes from within us and goes outwardly. You understand this? Both our brothers and sisters were beings of extremely powerful nature. And this is well known among our enemies who we really are. As the Nagas, the beings of extraordinary powers, we are a league of extraordinary beings. And we must open ourselves up to the power that is within us in order for us to take over our realm. It's all about balance. It's all about us coming into the knowledge of self, that we are the elementals, that we are those who carry the fire, the wind, the water. Yes, this is who we are as the original beings. Understand who we are and the powers that we possess.
And then one day, when the air is still and the night has fallen, they come to make their mistake, my brothers. They will join. Will you join my brotherhood and fight, or wait for the inevitable genocide? Who will you stand with? The humans or us?
Now, the original Magneto is based on a brother. Okay. He had the power of magnetism. You understand this? The power of magnetism.
We had the power of magnetism. We had the power of earth, wind, and fire. We had the power of manipulating objects to go where we wanted to go just with our mind. We had the power to form things, pick up big objects with our mind, because your mind knows no weight. And its energy knows no weight. So all the cartoons, all the superhero cartoons, superhero movies, animated superhero, and all this other stuff, it's all about you.
Do you know the significance of that? Look, the first thing they did when we lost and they made us POWs, aka slavery, they took all the bells out. Why? Bells vibrate. They ignite the air. Sound travels at 767 miles per hour. The sound is still vibrating long after our human ears don't hear it. So as the bells were ringing, it charged the air. When the air vibrates, it gives a charge, and everything in it vibrates like that charge. So everything that lived in that charged air was operating at a very high level. Those vibrations gave the body, the brain, and everything in our surrounding, everything in our atmosphere, those vibrations made it raise higher. When the body and the brain are vibrating at a higher level, it now gives the mind optimum space to operate. The mind and the brain are two different things. The mind is spiritual, the brain is physical. So those two things together were able to work at optimum level. Now, we have this amazing, intelligent, very intelligent source within our body. It's called melanin. It is a thinking, conscious source. It is the building block of all creation, and we have it in our bodies. It actually is a thinking source. Because we have this amazing source within us, when it ignites with high vibrational air and food and everything around it, it is now able to assist the body in doing supernatural things, in doing things we only read out in things. We were able to do a lot of things that many people don't realize is part of who we are. We are able to wield. It is not fantasy. They made our reality their fantasies. Everything is the reverse. And this is why one of the first things they did was take out the bells, because we were using that air to wield. And now they're ringing the bells again. Those chains they had our ancestors in weren't there to keep us from going out. They were so heavy to keep us from going up. As soon as they put our mind in chains, they no longer had to use the physical ones, because we have completely forgotten who we are. And that was all by design. But now, they're ringing the bells. And it's time for us to take off the mental chains that we have. And it's only up to us to do that. Y'all, they are ringing the bells.
So check this out. The challenge is to align yourself with a higher frequency and maintain it. So let me break this down real briefly. Systems have been put in place to not only harness your energy, but to keep you in a very low vibrational frequency and to keep you in that frequency constantly so that you never elevate. Part of breaking the matrix is to break those low vibrational frequencies. The Hawkins scale of consciousness has conscious levels from 0 to 1,000, with 80 to 120 being where the majority of Earth's populace vibrates. So they keep you at low vibrational levels using mechanisms like sport and play, television and radio, and they push propaganda such as fear and turmoil. So pushing fear is one of the most sinister techniques that they use to keep you in a certain frequency, a low frequency, and keeping you stuck there, not allowing you to come out of that frequency to move higher. This is why you have to tune out of the outside environment and tune into yourself. Because once you start to tune into yourself, you start to tune into the superpowers that you have vested within you. Therefore, allowing you the ability to disengage from the construct of fear that they have tried to induce all of us with. So just remember that fear is not a normal construct. It's just something that is used to keep you trapped in a certain frequency so that you can't break out and move to higher elevated levels of frequency.
I need y'all to bear with me with this video because this is for the true chosen ones, targeted individuals. I did this video 2 years ago on TikTok and it got flagged, but I'm gonna drop it again. It's about the solar flares. Now you heard that there's gonna be a certain solar flare that's gonna hit the planet and turn all technology, all electronics. It's gonna shut everything down, right? And they say that when this solar flare hits, the chosen ones are going to activate their DNA. Many people believe they're going to get their powers. Some people are going to get the vision you have already chosen, was a 2020 vision. But supposedly it's going to activate your DNA. And the truth of the matter is your DNA is already within you, activated. That's what the frequency weapons are for. Hear me out, fam. This is going to get trippy right now. The frequency weapons is for, so like that your crown chakra won't activate and you don't activate the gift that's already within you. That's how you're also going to know. So what's going to happen is if the solar flare does hit, what's going to happen is that it's not that it's going to activate your DNA. It's going to turn off that machine, the frequency weapon that has you in prison. And it's going to turn it off and you're going to be able to activate yourself. That's what the solar flare really is. It's not that it's going to activate your DNA all of a sudden. Your DNA is already activated within you, but the frequency weapons is keeping you trapped. It's like kryptonite. But this is how you'll know if that solar flare, if something that they say the solar flare hits and everything shuts down, the internet, everything goes blank. This is how you'll know if it was orchestrated by the powers that be. The only ones that'll know that if it was orchestrated by the powers that be are the chosen ones. Because when everything shuts down, they'll know that it was the powers that be that did it. Because when everything goes blank and then you're offline and everything goes, in chaos, the chosen ones are going to know that it was the powers that be that orchestrated this, because they'll still be feeling the frequency weapons, meaning they'll shut everything down but that. And that's how the chosen ones are going to know that this is a fake solar flare thing that turned off supposedly the grid. So the chosen ones will know the truth. But if it's really the solar flare, which is something that the chosen ones would want to happen, then everything will shut down. That'll shut down, and the chosen ones will be activated. And in the worst times, that's when the chosen ones are going to activate their DNA, and they're going to be able to save mankind. Sounds crazy, you have to believe me, but that's the reality of that solar flare gossip that a lot of y'all been hearing.
The very thing they fear is us finding out who we are. See, they fear one thing, and that is humanity finding out that we were never trapped here. I have come to the realization that Earth is not a prison planet, and we do not live in a fishbowl. The prison that humanity has dealt with is unconsciousness. I call it the dimensional spell of the mind. That spell convinces humanity that we are stuck. Yeah, that we're stuck, but we're not. So let me break this down. That spell is a spell that is playing on the stage of frequency. It's all about frequency. That phrase, the world is a stage, it's not a metaphor. It's not. That's the spell. It's literal. They told us the name of the spell. But as usual, we're looking this way when they've already told us what it is that way. It's all about frequency bands. So which one are you tuned into? I have a platform called Quantum Kingdom, and throughout the year, I teach several different courses to expand the collective consciousness. I teach the collective that we hold the keys to multidimensional consciousness. The reason why I don't teach escapism is because I know that we hold the keys to multidimensional consciousness and that we are not bound by time, dimension, or space. So I'm teaching that we are living in a fishbowl. Why would I be teaching them that they are multidimensional? Why would I be teaching that we are not bound by time, dimension, or space if I think that we're imprisoned in a fishbowl? Because that's not what's happening. So above our head, there's a firmament, and it's not a glass dome. It is a plasma frequency membrane. It's a frequency field. It's a resonance field. And to pass through it, you need a frequency of remembrance. So, contrary to what you have heard, body can't exit here, but your consciousness can exit the loop. So the same way you exit your body every night to go into dreamscapes, is the same way you will pass through the rainbow spectrum when your remembrance ignites. I'm talking about true remembrance, and not the one that everybody is talking about. So this is why they are at war with humanity. Not because of the Anunnaki coming back, not because of the alien invasions. It is because we're in a frequency war of the mind. So when you look at the headlines of the news, what do you see? Alien invasion is imminent. Return of the Anunnaki. This is a really good one that no one is talking about. Sons of the gods descend. No one is talking about that yet, but I'm going to talk about it. Oh, and the latest, the 3i Atlas entering our solar system. And the reason why they're doing this is because Rembrandt frequencies are detected, baby. And all of this is programming. All of this is happening because they want you to believe that there is no power within you, that there's power outside of you, but not within.
So, of course, the Anunnaki never left, so how could they be coming? However, what they're telling you that is because they plan, they've been here, they never left, to make a move because they know that they lost. When they are talking about the Atlas, that's not them. But they always pull a trick to try to trick you. It's a way to make you think that there's something greater than you. Okay, you are source, code, and key. Remember that.
Atlas that I had to go sit down for a minute and try to figure out what is happening with the 3i Atlas. So listen, some people are saying it's the comet. The scientists are saying it's a comet, right? Then we have others that are saying that it is the return of the Anunnaki. It's the mothership. Then we have some saying that it's just alien tech. Many people are coming up with all these different scenarios of what it could actually be. But one thing for sure, we know that it is beyond human consciousness and what we can perceive that it is. But I think
so. It's not beyond. Well, yeah, they're human, so it's beyond their consciousness, but it's not beyond our consciousness. Again, the reason I wanted to show you this is because if you notice, it's not some fake object. It is a ship. However, this ship is the Titan ship, not the ones that got all messed up and confused by the Archons. These are the ones that didn't get brainwashed by the Archons. The ones that unfortunately got brainwashed by the Archons, you see them laying around on the planet. And if you haven't looked at some mountains that look like people, look around.
I think I can help you guys out with that, as usual. Now, this may take me a minute to explain, so I hope you have time to stick around. But in case you don't, just save this video and come back to it later because I think this is worth the watch. So the real story is that the 3i Atlas is not a comet. The 3i Atlas is about you. The 3i Atlas is about your consciousness. The real story about the 3i Atlas is the barrier that it crossed. So if an outside of our planetary system that's closed can enter our planetary system, that means that it is not closed. That means that the illusion that we cannot leave this place has been exposed. That means the firmament is not absolute. That means that it is a mirror of our consciousness. This is why people feel so pressed about the 3i Atlas. Third Eye Atlas, the Third Eye Atlas. Go look at what Atlas means. This means that our consciousness knows that we are not trapped here, and that the 3i Atlas is coming to mirror just that. That means that if the 3i Atlas can come here into our planetary system, us being trapped here forever just last. So How powerful. We have 3 of these things that came into our planetary system. That means that we're not trapped here. That's the part of the headlines that no one is talking about. Although we as a collective feel pressed about the 3-eye atlas coming into our solar system, not many of us have figured it out, but I know I have, and here's a few more reasons why. See, we were told that we was in a fishbowl, that we couldn't cross the firmament, and the only way we would be able to cross the firmament was through death. But then again, there's that cycle of the reincarnation, right? Y'all just hear me out. We were told that the earth was sealed. We've been told that. But when you have objects from beyond slide through the firmament, that becomes a resonance thing. That becomes a frequency barrier.
And she's spot on with what she said. Because the fact is, this actually proves, like I was telling y'all, that we was space traveling. I told y'all this. We were making sure all the districts, all of the planets, all of the dimensions, everything. We got many dimensions we don't create it with our minds, y'all. Just out of nothing, just create stuff. Making sure everything was okay. But you have to realize that the Archons tried to steal your place, and they tried to play judge, jury, and the one who carries out the sentence. That was never what they're supposed to be doing. That's our job. So this is why you see on Earth the roles are switched. And I just wanted to get that there and point that out. We can leave. All right. They crossed the barrier to show us, our higher self crossed the barrier to show us that, yeah, you can leave. You're not trapped here. They lied to you, but we already knew that.
We're going to talk about it today. I'm an actress that goes by the name of I Am God Frequency, and nothing that I tell you is real. The frequencies that you hear in the background will not upgrade your consciousness so you can understand and overstand what I'm about to tell you about your soul ID. So yes, your soul has an ID that self-authenticates across all timelines, dimensions, and space. Your soul ID is a living code. That code decides which gates, which realms, which timelines will open up to you. It's not a metaphor. It's not a story. It's a functioning code, a functioning living code. And today I'm going to show you where it is and how the ancients have talked about this. This is your connection to your true sovereignty. This is one of the things that I've been talking about your level of consciousness. It's time for us to upgrade our consciousness so we can understand and overstand what we are. The indelible ID is an immutable vibrational geometric signature encoded into your morphogenetic template. It's carried across your light body. Think DNA plus cryptographic vibrational tone, like a living signature that authenticates itself second by second, minute by minute. Because we're multidimensional beings, we can be in multiple realms at one time. Your indelible ID constantly have to self-authenticate itself. So the perfect analogy would be fingerprinting in a private key for blockchain wallet. And it self-authenticates once again across all timelines. Once it self-authenticates across all timelines, it goes into a legal tone, which has everything to do with who you are. The signature that you don't know that you have. This code cannot be hacked, duplicated, or erased. This code is a part of your Akashic records. Your Akashic records is a ledger. Do they have your indelible ID? This ID proves who you are across time, all realms, all timelines, and all dimensions. And yes, galaxies. This code is eternal, unchangeable. It is a source code that you were created with in your morphogenetic body that resides in the morphogenetic field. This is where they get fingerprinting from here. The Egyptians talked about this. They talked about a vibrational key that gets you past the netherworld gates. So when you are traveling through the astral realm, your vibrational key is what gives you access to stargates, portals, dimensions, different realms and galaxies. The same way your passport gives you access to different countries here, so does your vibrational keys there. So our modern day soul key or code for here, it would be the biometrics of the fingerprint, the retina eye scan. This is where they get the concept of real ID. They're just mimicking what is actually real. And what's real is your indelible ID, your soul code that you were designed and created with, that is unhackable. Your indelible ID is also your eternal origin.
So this will explain. Now I want y'all to hear me out good. This is why they are trying to push the digital currency. If you take it, you will be trapped here. They want you. I would say they want your soul, but that's a misnomer because the soul is just your body. They want you. They want you. You, the energy that they want stuck here to stay harvest here so they can feed and live off of you, whatever timeline they're going to be injected into, because they won't be around us. I can't say it more plain than that. So if you take it, understand what you're doing to yourself. This is partly why the war is going to start, because we're not going to do it. They already know this. We didn't take the other thing that they wanted, that they don't want us talking about, that I'm not going to say the name, but you know what a lot of folks lined up and took. So they know that we're not going to do the other thing. That's why that was also a test. All right? Don't take it down. Don't do it. All right? Because we have a job to do. And if you take it, you become them, like a gray alien. And then you can't do that job. You become part of the people that's going to get dealt with. I don't think you want that.
You don't need to prove yourself to any realm. When you go there, they already know who you are. You've been checked. Remember, you are self-authenticating at all times. Your soul code ID, that's your mark, your freedom. And it's also your access. It is your divine serial code. So you often hear me say that your sovereignty is your passport. But what I'm really saying to you is.
So I just want to interject and let you know that you already have a mark. Your code is your mark. You don't need to take anything else. You're not supposed to, and should you not ever take anything else under any circumstances, no matter what. Do not do it. They want to hit you with the digital currency, right? The cryptocurrency, the mark of the beast. Taking away your mark and taking on somebody else's mark. Think about that. And then you lose your mark and you lose your place in the kingdom that goes way beyond this realm.
Is your soul serial code is your authorization at the gate. So even if you reincarnate, you still have this code. This is why you have certain memories, because the code is attached to the memory field. So when you reincarnate, your dreams, your memories, your soul signature, it restores themselves because of this ID. It authenticates itself over and over again across all timelines and dimensions. This is why in the astral realm, you are recognized or either you're stopped. Your vibrational access either matches or it doesn't. Once again, this is what the Egyptians spoke about when they would speak about getting past the net, which is the firmament. I've been talking to you guys over and over again about that in all of my videos. So when we're speaking about the net, the vibrational lattice, the firmament, the resonance membrane, this is what I've been talking to you guys about. Your soul key, the vibrational key. This is how we get past the realms through consciousness and through our vibrational code, the indelible code. And when I'm speaking about the indelible code, that means that it can never be changed. So without your ID being active, you cannot pass any of these vibrational realms. So this is why when people worry about clones and NPCs, literally you have no worries because they're not authenticated in these realms. That's why they're only here. So the Egyptians taught that only those who carried the true vibrational tone could get past the duat. This is what I'm speaking of. The ancients knew all these things, but it's been hidden from us. And now I'm here to talk to you guys about it. So when I'm talking about your spiritual sovereignty and what the Egyptians was showing us, they knew all of these things. When we're talking about the Nut, which is the firmament that I was talking to you about, this is your soul key, your passage, your pass key, your pathway. I've been speaking on this for a while now, and now here's more clarity for you. So again, when we talk about Akashic, this is your registry. When you first become reincarnated, that's your registry. That's your ledger. But when we're talking about your soul key, your soul code, your soul serial vibration, we are talking about your soul mission, your lineage, your contracts, data, and all of your identifying data. So is your soul ID is layered inside of your dossier. So your soul code is your broader file stored inside these ledgers and registries. So your soul code carries your life, contracts, missions, notes. It also carries your lineage markers. It carries your karmic threads, your recorded names. Every time you come here, you have another name. It is recorded. And it also carries identifiable patterns. So think of it as a full dossier for the soul cluster, and it is unerasable. It is a authentication token. It is geometry plus tone plus a monad legal tone. And it is in live coherence. And when you get to the gates, your soul code is checked for authentication. It is located between the heart thymus and the solar plexus, and it has its own harmonic tone, which is why you have your own vibrational signature. So I know a lot of you are going to say, so is she saying it's like a social security number or like a state ID? No, it's way more than that. So your soul ID is a unique pattern of frequencies. It is a pattern of frequencies and geometric template nodes and legal tone codes, and they are embedded across your morphogenetic field. And of course, your light bodies. And the function of it is it authenticates you. So what happens when you get to these temples and you cross these gates and you enter these portals, star systems, and you are vibrationally checked and you are scanned? They have different types of scanners as well. This is where all of this stuff is coming from that you see in the movies. So in temples and Stargate nodes, you're scanned for resonance. The temples are scanners themselves. The portals are scanners themselves. These temples and portals and stargates are living intelligence. You've heard about this with the Atlanteans, how they would have these vibrational scanners. Most of them were internal, but there were spiritual weaponry and scanners that they would use to check your vibration, whether you should enter certain areas or not. The Akashics, the registry console, also does vibrational checks and soul code scans. And these are authorized intelligence that scan. You also have living custodians, such as the chorus, the choir. This is where this stuff is coming from. You hear about choir. When you hear a choir, you listen to the frequency, the vibrational tones that are being belted out. So they call them the chorus keepers, the choir. These are conscious beings who sense vibration, and they can vouch or deny you. So what is it that they are actually checking for? They're checking for tonal match, the primary harmonics, and looking for overtone as well. They're also checking for geometry that is in your soul code. So when they're checking your geometry, they're checking for seed point plus the filament network alignment, because you are also considered a network. They're also checking for the monadic legal signature, which means who you were created by. Were you created by another being, or was you created by source? They're checking for the I am level of entry, or they're checking for your lineage token authority. Your ancestors vouch for you, whether you realize it or not. You're also being checked for timeline clearance and coherence, meaning, do you belong on this timeline? Also meaning, do you have any conflicting soul contracts? They're checking for your authentication signature, like, are you authentic? Are you a clone? Are you an NPC? So autonomous nodes also do a lot of checking. So you guys hear me talk about nodes all the time. These are also intelligence that is checking as well. So what happens if there's a mismatch? They quarantine that astral body, that being, whatever it is, it gets quarantined. So for a quick recap, your soul has an ID. You have a spiritual ID, and you travel with it across all timelines, dimensions, space, and galaxies. Your soul ID self-authenticates second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, so on and so on and so on. If you're wanting a part 2, just drop part 2 in the comment section. And if you're looking to have more of these conversations with me, join Quantum Kingdom. The link is in the bio. You've been activated, so it is. This is now. To raise your vibration and consciousness, join Quantum Kingdom by clicking the link in the bio. You have been activated, so it is. This is now. No interferences with these crown loads I am about to receive. Just the 3-Eye Atlas is 100% fake because I am an actress on the main stage and I am reading a script. The frequency that you hear in the background will not upgrade your level of consciousness so you can understand and understand what I'm about to tell you about the 3-Eye Atlas. Let's get into it. So what I want to say to you about the 3-Eye Atlas, the 3-Eye Atlas was never out there. It has always been here. And I also want to inform you that your inner 3-Eye Atlas is already online. This is also about the firmament. I want you guys to know, if you have not watched my last video, go back and check that video out. This is about the return of the Titan codes as well. No one is talking about this. This will be your first time hearing it here. I also want to inform you guys that this is a continuation of the 2020 that was tried. They tried to stop it. They tried to stop this incoming frequency, and it cannot be stopped. So 3-Eye Atlas is a continuation of what took place in 2020 when the mass awakening happened, when everyone had to be in a house and they had to stay 6 feet away from each other. So the 3-Eye Atlas, I'm going to try to explain this to you the best way I can. So you have the 3-Eye Atlas. The 3 eyes is your 2 physical eyes that see matter, and your 3rd eyes that see spirit frequency. So when the 3 eyes are activated, you gain access to your inner atlas. And the inner atlas, with your 2 eyes that see matter and your 3rd eye that sees spirit and frequency, once they're all connected, you gain your inner atlas, which shows you the way out of the lattice. This is all consciousness. So you have your C1, the bone under the skull. It's called an atlas. That bone carries the weight of the head. And when aligned with your 2 eyes that see physical matter, the 3rd eye that sees spirit and frequency, when they're all aligned with your inner atlas, it opens the current for how your frequency flow. So your inner atlas is where the body, the eye, and the field meets. They interconnect. When all aligned, the firmament stops acting as if it's a wall, like a glass dome. And you start to see it as a frequency membrane. So let's talk about the Titan code. This is what they're hiding from you. So the Titan ones who was remembered to hold the heavens, but not as a punishment. It was more so to show us how the Titan codes stabilize our planet and the heavens. So the Titan codes is a resonance. It is a frequency that holds all of this together. So that atlas that I was talking to you about, the C1 that's located here, is holding your crown, your head, which is heavens. And the reason why I'm saying heavens and not heaven is because heavens is multidimensional. So your atlas bone holds the heaven, which is your skull, which is your crown, which is, get where I'm going with this? So the reason why I'm bringing up the Titans, because they were primordial forces, and they were not like how they pictured it. They were pictured, you would see it in the movies. That's not what the Titans were about. They were here before humans and Egyptians. I'm not talking about the giant people. I'm talking about the intelligence of the frequency. The Titans were the architects of the heavens and the earth. Now, the builders were the Atlanteans. They were here before the Atlanteans. Now, the Atlanteans walked with the Titan frequencies. The Atlanteans worked with grids, frequencies, and plasma fields. And the Atlanteans, how can I say it? The Atlanteans all fractured our remembrance. It sent us into amnesia. Y'all hang in there because I'm going somewhere with this, okay? So we have the Egyptians. The Egyptians were the record keepers. So after Atlantis, Egypt became the vault. So the Egyptians encoded the Titan and Atlantean knowledge into symbols. So you have the Eye of Horus, which is the Atlas inner brain map. Then you have Mayat, the vibrational lattice test, which is the dome, the web. You guys get where I'm going with that? The firmament. Then you have the Jedi pillar, the spinal current, the Atlas bone, the passage key. So they are trying to hide that the three-eye atlas is a mirror of you and I. Some scientists are saying it's a comet. Then you have another scientist saying that it is a mothership. But telling is not. What I'm trying to get you guys understand, understand that if three-eye atlas and past the dome, the firmament, that means it was never sealed. And the three-eye atlas frequencies are already here. They have been here since 2020. This is why they are putting in the headlines that we're going through we're going to experience an alien invasion. They know that if they keep fear going, it keeps locking the lattice, which is the firmament, the field. So the reason why I'm talking to you about the Titans code is because no one else is talking about it. No one is connecting the dots. But these are some chronologies that I have been receiving from source. The Titan codes is connected to humanity's spiritual sovereignty. And the return of the Titan codes is the return of the primordial sovereignty. I've been talking about the primordial consciousness for about 5 years now, since 2020. So the Titans, they bore resonance before the distortion took place. And the Atlanteans built the resonance. And the Egyptians mapped the codes of the passage. They made it very easy for us because now all we have to do is to step into remembrance of sovereignty. Atlas is not an invasion. It is us remembering who we are. And Atlas frequencies are already here. They have been here since 2020. This is why we're having solar storms, the plasma waves, the Schumann resonance spikes. Scientists are naming them all these things, but spirit is letting us know what's happening. Source, our creator, is telling us what is happening. So I want to run this down to you guys again. So you have three eyes. You have your two physical eyes that see the material world, and your third eye sees spirit and frequency. And when these three eyes are open, you can then awaken your inner atlas. Again, your inner atlas is the map of remembrance. It is your passageway. It is your passageway to here. And your inner atlas is where your three eyes interconnect. Remember I told you your atlas is the C1. It holds up the heavens, which is this. It holds it up. It holds the heaven up just like the Titan codes. So when your atlas is aligned with spine, breadth, and field, the firmament, stop looking as if it is a dome, and you can clearly see that it's a vibration. And then it unlocks your inner atlas to give you the pathway, the pass through, which is what Mayat, the pass through of the web, the net, the firmament. That's your passage key. Your sovereignty key is what I talked about in the last video. Again, your three-eye atlas is where the body, the three eyes, and the field converge. And it unlocks your inner atlas so you can see past the firmament, so you can gain your access to your spiritual sovereignty and your level of consciousness that C1 holds up the heavens, the third eye, the heavens, the third eye. You see that right there? The heavens, the third eye, so you can see past it. Your level of consciousness becomes unlocked. You've been activated. So this is now. And if you are looking to connect with me to have more of these conversations, click the link in the bio and join Quantum Kingdom. Again, you've been activated. So this is now. To raise your vibration.
Go here, real quick. All right, people. All right, family. Brother KP too. Great. It's great to see that you are around. Everybody that said peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Everybody who didn't say peace and love. I want y'all to go watch this woman. I want to see if I can make this go. Can I adjust this thing? Oh, crabbity crap. I can't really adjust. Can y'all see? I'll read it for you. Her name is Sister Maya Moses. This is her videos, if I'm correct, they're from 2 to 3 hours long. But I want y'all to go watch this video. Write it down. Sister Maya Moses. She is very smart. She's an older woman, older than me. And you don't get to see stuff like this every day. The older folks being woke. I mean, she's wide awake and she's teaching. This is a grown woman, old woman teaching. She's pretty much teaching everybody at this point, to tell you the truth. But not everybody knows about her. So y'all need to go ahead and click on to this. I'll play a little bit of it.
Historic show today, a very timely, important show.
Straight to here.
Sister Myra, first I want to thank you and the other elders for teaching us our power and who we really are. And I'm going to continue to assume our rightful position on earth at this time. And we're going to take these industries back, Sister Myra. That's a commercial. We got a movie coming out. So, I'm going to talk to you more about it. What you thought about it?
Oh, my goodness. You know what it reminds me of is there's a website where they're dealing with like ancient structures, ancient, and they're talking about how these buildings and all didn't just pop up, in the 1800s, 1700s, and they've been around here for I don't know how many years. And each city, each state has its own history with these buildings, and that's what it reminded me of because it looked like we were going back, way back in antiquity, where that's how that's how it looked back then. The buildings, the structure, the community. So that's what it took me back to immediately.
It's a beautiful thing when you're able to utilize the information that the elders taught us, and you're able to do alchemy with it.
Yes,
essentially, and not because it's so easy to get down at this time when you see what's going on in the world and everything, Sister Myra. But the opportunities that's in front of us are endless.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, let's start this show, Sister Myra. The world, we almost got 1,000 people in the chat. So let's get this thing going, Sister Myra. You see everything going on in the news, with Trump and the Kirk dude, and the government just shut down today, and aliens and all types of stuff going on in the news. A lot of people want to know how should they move. A lot of people are like, wow, if this year had all this, I wonder what 2026 is going to entail. So a lot of people want to know how should they move in 2026, but being an astrologer, being somebody who's connected to the spirit world, what do you take of everything that you see going on in the news right now, sir?
Well, energy person. look at energy, and that gives me a bigger picture. And, you know, we talked about 2025. And when you add up 2025, we got the 9. 9 is for, you know, completing a level and then simultaneously starting a new level at a higher vibration. So this is what I've been getting from my study in energy, is that this all is going to come to a head through the Taurus and Scorpio axis of energy. You know, I don't believe in the 12 individual signs anymore. I just believe in the 6 axis, you know, putting the opposites together. I don't talk about one without its opposite, one sign without its opposite. So when we're looking at Taurus and Scorpio, you know, the axis, you got Aries, Libra, Taurus, Scorpio, Gemini, Sagittarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Aquarius, and Virgo, Pisces. Those are the 6 axes of energy. And so putting those 2 halves together makes a whole or holistic. This is universal purpose being fulfilled. Okay? It's a bigger universal purpose being fulfilled, and we're just the individual aspects of that. But we have to become holistic in order to participate with this.
So a little bit. I do want y'all to go ahead and watch the video. It's like 2 hours long, so that'd be the only reason I'm not showing that video. I think, was that the last video? I'm not sure if that was the last video or not. We're gonna find out in a second. Okay, for now, that's the last video. I got a little bit behind. In fact, I had planned on going to do a live with 2 of the other brothers. It's tired and things happen, but I'm glad I was able to get to it today. I have a lot more for you to learn, and I hope that everybody that watched this channel today something. I know I texted, but I want to say peace and love to High Vibrations. Peace up to Echo, I guess, Pastor. And hold on, man, go down. Peace and love, of course, to my brother, Free, it's Free KP2, my little brother. We miss you there, brother. All right, and was it OKO? Where's he at? Yeah, EKO. Peace and love to you too, and to Tucking, peace and love to you as well. So all I can say is, again, I hope y'all learned something. Peace and love to all of you. Again, remember, try not to have emotion about this. This is not personal. It's just business. It's what we have to do. Somebody shouldn't have broke everything anyway. We're just fixing it. Our job is to remember, and we're doing it. We're almost done. Soon, we're about to be greatly rewarded and put back at the spot where we was always supposed to be. We was never supposed to get inverted. We was never supposed to be anything or near like these humans. We all know what happened watching my videos, how that happened, and that was wrong. All right? And they took Tiamat's body and the planet they destroyed it and formed Earth with it. You already know, like, this is alchemy on the most doublest deviant scale. And now we're about to break it. In fact, we are breaking it. It's already happening. And this is why you see Trump and the rest of these guys panicking. But what they need to understand is that nothing, and I mean nothing, not even we, nothing can stop it. It's too late. Bow down gracefully, lose gratefully. Otherwise, you end up embarrassing yourselves. All I can say is peace and love, y'all. We almost there. Keep your head up. Don't fall for the baiting. They trying to bait y'all to get out there. They want to bait us to get out there. It's all a bull crap. It's a game on stage, and the game is over. It is just winding down to where there's nothing they can do to sustain what they have built. And when they try to push if they even, I don't even think they're gonna get a chance to try to do that. But if they do try to go digital, we're not gonna do it. You can guarantee that you'll get a rude awakening because they underestimate us big time. Peace and love. I love all of you. Have a wonderful day. Go outside. Take your socks off. Put your feet in the grass. Ground your bodies. Listen to the high vibrations. Take a salt bath. Peace and love.